Welcome to the Bullits and Bourbon podcast, where it's not about the bourbon, but more about who you share it with.
Everybody, welcome back to the Bullits Bourbon podcast, episode 67, and we've had a little bit of a hiatus the last week or so.
For wintertime, I think we all got a little bit of the winter blues.
Yeah, I got the whole tooth thing going on, post-vacation hangover and whatnot. But, we're back. It's Friday night. I've already had how many?
Couple pours.
And you've had equally, well, you've had more than that. Because you're drunk,
had two.
Craig. You're full of shit. You have two on the table in front of you. What are you talking about?
Well, it's 3 and 4. I've had 2, 3, 4.
Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that.
The only thing I believe, he went to the school of Bill Cosby bartending. That's the only thing I believe.
Mr. Roofy.
We're only 30 seconds into this podcast and I already went off of it.
We were in it for 2 seconds. I wanted you off of it. So Dan, you brought us something tonight that kind of, is pretty special.
Well, I know this is the time of year you like to dive into your favorite miniseries, Band of Brothers.
Yes, that's the best.
And I was watching it last month.
Band of Brothers, baby.
And, Nixon likes to drink, and we like to drink. And what did Captain Nixon like to drink?
The good old Vat 69.
I found a bottle of Vat 69. It's not the 1940s version, but...
Only the best for Mama Dixon's baby boy, right?
We'll see how good it is.
Mama Dixon's baby
We'll see
boy.
what kind of taste good old Captain Nixon had.
So we were inspired because yesterday was what?
D-Day.
Well, yesterday was not D-Day.
I don't know what day it was.
Jesus Christ. You're about 6 months off the ball. Yesterday was the repeal of Prohibition.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what? Tomorrow's Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor.
No, tomorrow's not Pearl Harbor.
It said December 7th.
December 7th is tomorrow?
Yeah.
Man, I'm all fucked up.
I knew we were
thought it was
somewhere
the
around
5th.
there.
I thought it was the 5th today.
No. Prohibition was on the 5th.
Yeah.
Repeal
Tomorrow.
Today's the
Pearl
6th.
Harbor, yes.
So you're right. So tomorrow, yeah. So we kind of found it fitting that we talk a little bit of, history. Not like we know our history. We don't even know what day it is. But Vat 69, blended Scotch whiskey made with over 42 different blends of whiskey.
I'm a little worried because it's a twist top.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I brought us some history on it. I say let's go ahead and taste. I'll walk through the history as we taste it. So it's like I said, it's a blend of about 42 different malt and grain whiskeys. It was actually created by William Shackleton and in 1882, or William Sanderson, and then it was kind of promoted big time by Sir Ernest Shackleton for his Antarctic expedition that the British did. So it rose to prominence in the U.S. in the 1930s. That's where, before it was made kind of re-famous in Band of Brothers, it was really a famous whiskey drank in the U.S. in that era before World War II kicked off and during World War II. And if you remember the movie, he's always on the lookout for Vat 69, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, for those history nuts like we are when it comes to World War II history especially, I've always wanted to get my hands on a bottle of the original Vat 69. I don't know if there are any.
I'm sure you're paying like $20,000 to $30,000 if not more.
Yeah,
I'm sure it still exists, but
Yeah.
to get something from talking 80 years ago.
Yeah,
I can't
its
even imagine.
original bottling is a kind of a fat bottle, a skinny
Short,
top.
fat bottle
I think so,
with a
yeah,
little
and just Vat 69 written across it. So, but give me your thoughts. What do you think? This to me is a sweeter Scotch, 80 proof. So it's
Easy drinker.
yeah.
Sweet. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's an easy drinker for sure with being 80 proof. I'm not picking out a lot on this.
I get a lot of nose. On the nose, I get a lot of honey, vanilla, caramel. It's very sweet for me. There's the malt. There's the nutty flavors to it. But it's not an overly complex whiskey. Like, I guess, like, I'm thinking to myself, man, Captain Nixon, who was, made this kind of famous in my mind, he wouldn't drink anything but Vat 69. I'm thinking to myself, man, if you're rolling through Europe, you've got all kinds of like other scotches out there, right?
Yeah.
That I personally would say, but you know what? We all have our favorites. So, I mean, and maybe the original VAT 69 was just way ahead of its peers at that time. Well, you're already going in for second.
Oh, so did he.
But it's a mild drinker. It's not heavy on the alcohol. It is sweet, like you said, a honey caramel. There's definitely some fruit note in there. But it's just on the nose, it's sweet. Mm-hmm. On the palate, it's sweet. The finish is just there's not a ton of finish. It's gone pretty quick.
It's nutty on the finish. It's a mild finish. It's not.
It's an easy sipper. Bottom line, it's an easy sipper after dinner. You want a desserty drink. The scotch, I didn't know it was a scotch, so I would say maybe now that you said it, okay, maybe I could pick up on the most mild peat, but there's not.
There's no peat on this.
No peat.
There's no peat.
I was going to say,
when it comes to scotch, just shut the fuck up. Every time we do scotch.
The only peat is Islay. Unless it says peated on it.
But I was going to say, if there's peat in this, maybe the most mild or something, I was like, I don't taste much peat at all.
I taste very, very mild peat. Jesus. You have no.
You're not allowed. When it comes to scotch, you're not allowed to comment on it.
Well, I was going to say, maybe
we're sitting your ass.
Maybe it was the most mild peat. I was like, I didn't even realize it was in scotch because I didn't notice the peat, but maybe it's the most mild.
Not all scotch has peat.
Fair enough.
Only.
I drink with a bunch of assholes.
So especially when you see blend, you're not gonna. Well, very, very rarely.
Listen. Fair case in point, because we're not, as a whole, we're not huge scotch drinkers. I am not. You are not. So it's important to understand that the different regions of Scotland denote the different type of flavor profiles. If you're in and I mispronounce the names, but if you're in the Islay region, that's where your peat is. Those are your peaty blends. Now, the Highlands and the Spaysides and the whatever the other ones are, I can't remember.
Well, your Octomore.
Those are all Islay.
Right.
Lefroy, Islay. Highland Park, Islay. Ardbeg, Islay. Dalmore, Speyside, Highland. Balvenie, Speyside, Highland. I'm not 100% sure. Ardmore, all of those. So, but generally speaking, now Balvenie and Glenlivet and some of the others will put out a peated edition, but it's rare. Now, most of the times when you get into blended scotches, your Johnny Walkers, your VAT 69, your Douglas Lang, what is the other ones that the smoke, even the Smokeheads, which do have peat in them. I'm looking over the shelf.
Well, it's good to point out then too. If you're getting on the Scotch, though, too, a lot of people think when they're talking about Scotch, they do think it's clearly what I think of as a peatiness, though. But it's
no, they do not think peat when it comes to Scotch.
A lot of people do.
No, they don't. No, they don't think peat when it comes to Scotch.
A lot of people I talk to do think that.
Well, then have them tune in, and we'll help educate them. We're gonna have Brian Paul on the podcast, who's one of the bloggers who knows a ton about peated whiskey and Scotch in general, and he'll help him and Jim because they can explain this why people think of Scotch as peated if they do, because that's probably what they're exposed to first. Correct. And that's why they back away from it. But if you start somebody on something like a Dalmore, a Glenlivet, an Ardbeg, a McKellen, a Glenmorangie, something like that, then it completely changes their entire interpretation.
Is McKellen not peated at all?
No. It's just not the right region. So it's all region dependent. Yeah. So I mean, look, we're gonna clown you because we like clowning you. I mean, we clown you what we do. But besides you being an idiot,
I'm about to fuck down this podcast. This shit's going down. He's over there talking shit. I'm about to do this on this podcast now. I mean, because he wants to laugh and joke so much. I do
too.
This is about to get interesting now.
We know he doesn't smoke cigars, but it sure looks like he'll suck on a Cuban right now.
Here he goes. You know what?
Yeah. I tell you what, Craig. Why don't you tell us about your last weekend? Craig,
where'd you go?
Because we missed you. We didn't do a podcast because of you.
Yeah, we didn't do a podcast.
We didn't do a podcast. It just wasn't the same if we didn't have you here.
Where'd you go last weekend?
Ohio State, Michigan. My son.
Oh, how'd that go?
Birthday, so
Are you gonna get a background? You can tell us about the drive, the roads.
Bottom line, shout out to my son. My son turned 18 November 29th, so he has to go to an Ohio State game, and he's never been to an Ohio State game. But I was like, motherfuckers. But the game, taking him to the game, Ohio State, Michigan.
At least the game.
Oh, that was the game.
Yeah. So
Ohio State, Michigan, the game. Though.
How'd it go?
Went fucking horrible. Went absolutely horrible. Everybody said, "Oh, Ohio State's gonna win. Ohio State's gonna win." And if you've ever watched any rivals game, Alabama, Georgia, all these games, Florida, Florida State, it doesn't matter what your record is. It does not matter. And I'm like, well, we'll see what happens. And they choked. And what you didn't see during the Ohio State Michigan game was during the intermission, they had an Ohio State student come out there, and he had a chance to win a $10,000 scholarship, kick a 30-yard field goal. He was the only person from Ohio State that day to make a 30-yard field goal.
I should put that motherfucker in the football game.
Ohio State missed two 30-some-yard field goals, and that dude made a 30-yard field goal and won a $10,000 scholarship.
I don't need to rub salt in the wound. Because I was rooting for Ohio State. I wanted it to be a special day for you and your son. Now, when it was finally over, it was some funny ass shit.
I thought Craig was down on the field fighting.
Yeah.
I thought he was like, I spent all this money for these fucking tickets, and you motherfuckers are going to lose. I'm whooping somebody's ass.
I was on Michigan's side.
They're like 700 Ohio State fans just beating up on other Ohio State players. So you saw the fight.
I didn't, man. I was completely sober. It was cold as shit.
That's no excuse. Where were you that you didn't see the fight?
They left when they knew it was over. he left early. He left early.
Nah, dude. You're 105, 106,000 people, a bunch of drunk assholes. I'm completely sober. My son.
Why were you sober?
I'm with my boy, 18 years old. We have a 2.5-hour drive back though. So as much as we have a good time. But
this is your son that always Ubers your ass home for us.
Yeah, but it's a 2.5-hour drive back though. So he's.
Oh, you weren't staying the night. That's right.
No, we were staying the night though. So I'm all about. You know what?
I'll be responsible.
I'm with my boy. Yeah. I'm with my son.
Cheers.
I'm not drinking.
That. Yeah.
So, dude,
should have drunk.
It was. I wish I would have drank because these assholes there. And hats off to Michigan. Michigan won. You know what? Michigan won fair and square.
Did you just say hats off to Michigan as an Ohio State fan?
Oof. Absolutely, they won fair and square.
No, let me tell you something. When Florida loses to a rival, we don't say congratulations, Florida State. We say, I fucking hope you get AIDS, Florida State. We don't say congratulations. What's wrong with you?
Because you're a piece of shit. Because you're
that's
a fucking
why
idiot.
you
That's
keep losing. That's why it's how many years? 4 years in a row you've lost to.
It's like you get in a goddamn fight, and then after you get your ass whooped, sometimes you're like, "That was a good fight, man. Congratulations."
No.
Oh yeah.
No. What are you? Is this colonial like 1918?
Like the UFC?
Like
you can shake hands sometimes.
George, that was a brilliant
you
fight.
can shake hands and be sportsmanlike after the time.
I appreciate you killing half of my people.
We ain't talking about war. We're talking about football. We're talking about
war,
UFC.
Everything in life is war.
When I go to the bathroom in the morning, it's war. All right, damn. I know you do.
When I push that turd out, it's like fuck you.
Yeah, it's a victory. You got to claim victory.
Hurt
You
my
claim
stomach
victory.
all damn day.
You look like you fell from a giant redwood sequoia dick tree, Dan, and every dick on the way down.
So that was a pretty long ride home because I didn't text you and ridicule you.
You did. The one thing I asked my son we left there was I did feel bad. I mean, obviously I wanted to see Ohio State win, but I asked my son, "Did you have a good time?" I mean, at the end of the day, it was his first time ever being in a Ohio State game, and that's what you want for your kid. 18th birthday. It's his memory for the rest of his life. When I'm gone,
let him know he's supporting a losing team. That's the way to let him know. Switch teams sooner than later.
First time someone might get punched on the podcast. So I knew,
bet on that?
when they put my ass on the ground, hopefully he's always going to remember us going to that game. So I really was disappointed. But I looked at him and said, "You have a good time?" He said, "Even though we lost, that was so good." And that's what meant the most to me.
Yeah.
What sucked was this asshole over here. He texted me, though.
That was Connor. I didn't text you fucking.
Connor was the first, yeah.
Connor was an asshole. Dan was 50-50. Dan was like, "Hey, man, told you, Ohio State's overrated, but I hope you and your boy had a good time." So basically, Dan goes, slaps me across the face.
And then
like,
hugs you.
But I said, "I hope you had a good time after I slapped you." And I'm like, "You motherfucker." But Jay, yeah, I give you credit. You didn't text me at all, man. It was a tough game, especially dropped $1,100 just for the tickets to go to the game.
Yeah, you
I'm
could have
like,
watched that on TV and been warm.
Fuck you, dude.
And had some dip
You're
and
better
chips.
off spending money on plane tickets. Where is it at? Vegas or LA, where they got that like dome where it feels like you're in the arena.
But dude, games like that, dude.
What?
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No.
The new Sphere in Vegas?
I don't know if it's a Sphere in Vegas or somewhere in LA. They have a whole new setup where it's a restaurant and you can go watch, soccer, football, basketball, and it's like you're in their arena.
Fuck, really?
It's ridiculous.
We have to give that a shot.
Yeah, but my son's been to a Pittsburgh Steelers game, and what's Steelers Stadium? And was it 70,000?
No, it's
60?
It's like
68,
probably like
yeah.
60 something.
Oh, all right.
If
Well, I'm
that.
close, but so he's never seen because he didn't realize that college stadiums are so much bigger than NFL though. And when he went there, he's like, dude, it was just so cool for him to see that though. But I mean, shit, man, they couldn't get it done that day though.
I'll tell you what, there was a lot of good games that day.
There were.
The Ole Miss, Mississippi
Dude,
State game.
close
was
game.
good.
Didn't Texas about lose that day?
No.
No.
Wasn't Texas close? Was it Texas? No, not that day.
No, they
Okay,
pulled away.
recently
But,
they were close.
Florida destroyed Florida State to give them a 2-10 season. And then the flag planting crap. That was a big thing this past
So
weekend.
this whole weekend,
Yeah,
there was a lot
you
of
had
fights.
Arizona State. Was it Arizona State, or was it Arizona State? And
It was Arizona.
They tried to pitchfork the Florida State game. Now, here's what I will peel back on the Florida State game. So Florida State got all mad because Florida went out and planted a flag. Now, Billy Napier, the head coach of Florida, didn't see it. He was coming over to shake Mike Norvell, the head coach of Florida State's hand, and Mike Norvell got all pissed off and all bitchy, "Oh, my baby," and grabbed the flag from a UF player and threw it. But Florida State has a tradition of taking the turf of their opponents on away teams when they win. They tear up the turf in front of them and take it home. They have a sod cemetery at Florida State. So Florida State, fuck you. Like you don't get a pass on that shit. You go everywhere you go, you're classless. So you got your shit pushed in all the way up to your nostrils, and you're mad. Now, put that aside, there was a trend of this stupidity happening. Arizona State, Ohio State, Michigan, that was what started it. Florida State. There was another one.
There's like 6 or 7.
I think we agree. I think the worst.
all the time.
I think Ohio State, Michigan was probably one of the worst one, hands down, the worst one this year.
Yeah.
Pepper spray.
Yeah, whatever.
We had just left early, but I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you think about Michigan after they whooped Ohio State's ass, trying to plant the flag?
I think you get what you get, and you don't get upset.
Yeah,
I think
it's
for
Ohio
years
State.
and years,
I'm
Ohio
the same
State
thing.
has rubbed it in Michigan's face. I'm not a fan of Michigan, nor am I a fan of Ohio State. But here's the thing
It's
with
not about Ohio State, Michigan. I'm going to interrupt you. It's not about Ohio State, Michigan. It's about after you win, after you beat somebody, do you really go plant the flag on home field though?
Don't lose.
Yeah,
Let me tell you something. If I conquer your country, guess what I'm doing? I'm raising my flag over your country. I'm just saying.
This ain't war like that though.
That's history right there.
And you ain't conquering shit though.
They definitely took Ohio State down a peg or two.
I'm just saying that either get rid of it altogether in athletics, which would probably be better. There's just none of that at the end of the game. Line up, shake hands, go to your fucking locker rooms and fuck off. Or accept the fact that you got beat, and that's part of it. Use that as motivation. My problem is Ohio State has been equally classless with Michigan. Florida State's been equally classless with Florida. Auburn's been equally classless with Alabama. All the rivalries are just this is where this hatred comes from.
Oklahoma, Texas.
Texas.
What was the game we watched till like midnight?
That the Georgia
eight
Georgia Tech.
That was such a good game.
Yeah.
8 overtime. I got so drunk on that goddamn Friday night before the game though because it went to 8 overtimes. I think the record's 9 overtimes in
Yeah,
college
Penn State.
football.
Now I will say
Dude,
with that
8
was
overtimes.
That was the inversion, right? Because that's an old rivalry. It's not been super important for the outcome of college football playoffs or rankings. But at the end of the game, the Georgia fans were really and listen. I'm a Florida Gator. I'm complimenting Georgia Bulldogs. So brace yourselves. They were super classy. They were congratulating Georgia Tech players. They're like, man, hell of a game, you guys. That was a cool thing to see. They earned the respect of the Georgia fans.
That was just such a fucking
That was a great game. It was a dogfight. And I think honestly, God, I hate saying this out loud, but I think it's going to make Georgia better. I think it's going to make Georgia the favorite to win it all because they looked ahead on Georgia Tech, like Ohio State looked ahead on Michigan, and they had to fight their way out of looking ahead. Georgia Tech's not a slouch. They finished the season 8-5 4.
Dude, I don't think there's a dominant team right now. All the teams that are up there right now, though, they have all played unranked teams and had close games.
Yep.
Nobody here has destroyed their opponents left
So wait,
and right.
what about Oregon? Oregon's the only undefeated.
But
But
Well,
Oregon's
right
had
now
close games, too.
they got to play a game.
Yeah, but Oregon, I think
Oregon gets a bye, but right now with the pitchers,
Dude.
they could go into playing Bama.
Well, they may not get a bye because tomorrow.
I think one gets a bye.
The Big
No,
Ten.
I know,
No,
but
there's
but
4 of them get a bye.
Yes, 4 of them get a bye, but we don't know who's going to get a bye because tomorrow Penn State and Oregon square off.
Yeah.
So who do you have? And that's at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indiana.
It's crazy. If a Penn State beats Oregon,
tonight?
What happens?
Yeah, it's tonight.
Never mind. Is it tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight.
See, my son knows everything
So
about
if
sports.
Oregon
God bless
beat,
him.
if Penn State beats Oregon tonight,
So, I'm sorry, Craig. Is he supporting you without this no haircut shit?
Yeah, we're going to get to that. We're in this together. My boy doesn't abandon me. But I will say this. So Oliver is basically
Dude, he
a
looks
walking encyclopedia
he
of
looks like the-
sports knowledge.
he
Have
looks
you not
like
realized
he
this?
looks like the FedEx kid, though. Are you sure he's yours?
I'll knock you the fuck out. You're about to have braces on your entire body.
I'm just saying.
Retard.
Maybe Amazon.
Anyways, so Oregon plays Penn State. SMU plays Clemson. Right? Clemson?
Let's look
Georgia,
tonight.
Georgia, Texas.
Oregon Penn State is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oregon. No, it is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which one's tonight?
Tonight, let me check. Sorry. Who?
I think all the big ones are.
SMU
see,
plays Clemson. We can see the reemergence of SMU. We haven't seen SMU be relevant on the major college football scene since the
80s.
80s when they got the death sentence for the Gant.
But yeah, Georgia, Texas tomorrow. We got Oregon, Penn State playing tomorrow. Clemson, SMU tomorrow.
Boys plays tonight against UNLV. And Tulane versus Army.
Yeah, so I mean, theoretically,
Georgia, Texas is going to be a good game.
If Boise State beats UNLV tonight,
If
they'll
who?
be in the top 12.
Boise State.
UNLV. If they
Yeah,
lose,
so-
they'll be out of the top 12.
So Boise State has a chance tonight to make it in that top 12,
Correct.
which could then move some other bigger players out of
well, you
it.
got
Well, what
Arizona
I-
State.
The playoff picture already, as of right now, Boise State's in it.
No.
No,
What if they lose? If they
if
lose
they
tonight?
lose, they're not.
No.
Because they'll drop out
I
of
don't
the 12.
think so.
If they win, they're automatically in.
But you got Arizona State tonight at 15, though, too, where Arizona State needs. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know who's playing tonight, but yeah, I still think. I would assume. My guess is Ohio State. Some of these people at 7, 8, 9 are still in it, though, when they're not playing, though. But
Well, we've kind of charted this all the way from the beginning. We started, when we started talking about the college football.
I said Texas in the beginning. Remember, I'm just saying. I said Texas.
But
from the
this
get-go.
has been a lot crazier than what we thought would happen. We've seen a lot more losses on teams. I think part of it is because these teams now understand that they can lose a game, and it's not the end of the world. Which when before it was if you lose a game, you're out. Which I think
this is better now, though.
yeah. So far this is I'm more interested. I find myself watching more college football games with teams I don't necessarily care about. Part of me would love to see Boise State. Like
No, because didn't Boise State go not too long ago, and they just
No.
that's BYU.
BYU.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
So
BYU.
who are you all? Who do you all think? I mean, I don't even know. Top 12 right now. I don't know.
Who do you want to win it all, and who do
clearly-
you think will win it all? What do you think? Go.
I want Ohio State to win it all. Clearly, who do I think can win it all? I will say when Ohio State lost to Oregon, home field advantage was a close game, but Oregon had some first strings
Dude,
out.
just fucking answer the question. Jesus Christ. He's going to go down to the whole fucking dynamics. And then Oregon has this and the NIL money and then the third moon on the second day.
He's not wrong.
I didn't say
Who
he's
do
wrong.
you think is going to win it?
I'm going to go Ohio State. I'm going to go the home team.
Because if he didn't say Ohio State, I was going to reach over and smack
Okay.
him. I swear I was going to smack him. If
Who do
didn't say
you
Ohio
think
State.
is going to? Who do you want to win it? Who do you think is going to win?
I'm sticking with Texas.
Who do you want to win it?
I think Texas is going to win, but Bama.
Bama.
like-
I don't think Bama's going to make it in.
I feel Texas. They've had a lot of close games too. What's making you think Texas?
I just
Outside of Oregon, I will say that Texas has been the most consistent, except for their loss against Georgia. Who do you think? Who do you got?
Let's look
I would
up
like to
Texas
see,
here.
I would like to see Texas go. Also, Indiana. I would like to see how far they can go. I mean,
Are they? So the question is, are they going to get in?
I believe they're going
Yeah.
to be in.
Mine's pretty interesting. So I don't want to see Texas win it because I don't want a freshman entering into the conference to win it. I want to see SMU win it all because then
underdog.
Because then you can prove that listen, SMU when they received that death sentence, they were the Miami of that generation. They were. You didn't get in the way of SMU. They fucked everybody up, and then they received the death sentence, right?
Yeah.
I just have a feeling the way Oregon is playing, because of what they're going to get for the bye, if they win their game against Penn State, they are going to they're going to have the easiest path. And we haven't ever seen this, but we're going to see a bunch of games play out where teams are going to start to be depleted. It's a longer season.
Here's the thing. I think even though Oregon got that bye, they're going to lose that first game.
It could be.
I'm going to put that out there right now.
I think it's Oregon. You think it's Texas. You think it's
Probably Texas.
And you think it's Ohio State. So
I got to go with the home team. I mean, I've got to.
I think the other part of it is that Oregon has put its dues in for almost 20 years now. They rebuilt that program. They've been contenders for the last 20 years on some level or another. A lot like, they've been on the precipice, but they just couldn't get there. And every time that they're about to get there, they lose their coach. They lost Mario Cristobal to Miami. I don't think Miami's going to make it in the playoffs. I think that's beautiful.
That loss to Syracuse really
That
hurt.
loss to Syracuse, which was wild, I think really, really hurt Syracuse. Helped Florida. So I'm not going to bitch, complain, moan, and gripe at all. So I don't know. I think it's super interesting to see how it plays out. It's fun to watch this. The only thing that I'm enjoying as much as college football right now is pro football.
Look at Ashley. What do you think about Notre Dame being in it, though?
Notre Dame,
always a big controversy about Notre Dame not being in a conference, though.
I don't think they should get any. I think they should essentially be penalized. They get no automatic berth, so screw them. But
I'm okay if they play some big ranked teams. They've lost to Texas A&M this year. They've had a close game.
I don't think they're gonna.
But I don't like the fact that they won't get into a conference.
I don't think they'll go far.
no.
I think that first game they're gonna lose because I think who they're.
See, the problem is that they're going to be in it because of their ranking, but they don't have to go through a gauntlet of a championship game.
They don't. So Notre Dame does not play. Yes, in one of their conference games or championship games, though. So I would assume that based off the conference games, Notre Dame's 5. They could move based off the conference playoffs.
Well, they should.
But
they're still going to be on top 12.
Of everybody that gets in, from the automatic bids, they should be the lowest ranked team considered. So if SMU is sitting at 13, they win. They're in. They're in for an automatic because they're a conference champion. They should leapfrog well ahead of Notre Dame.
Is Alabama in?
I don't think. I think Alabama is on the cusp. I don't. I think a lot's going to play out with the SEC championship games. The problem is if Georgia beats Texas, it messes everything up because you're still going to have Texas in there.
Yeah.
So you could have Georgia's automatic qualifier, Texas in there. You could have Tennessee is going to be in there because they're still highly ranked.
Penn State.
You could have Penn State could lose and still be in there.
Yeah.
You could have Oregon in there. Oregon's going to be in there either
Big
way.
Big Ten's going to be Penn
You're
State.
have Ohio
Indiana.
State.
It's crazy. It's Penn State, Indiana. Ohio State creamed Indiana. I mean, just beat Indiana, and Indiana. Has
So
a bigger
I feel like when Notre Dame plays one less game, that they're one less tested. That's just my take on it. I mean. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be a fun weekend of college football because that's really going to set the tone. Did you guys go into pro? Did you see the Detroit win last night?
It was a good game.
That was a good game. I'm pulling if the Steelers don't go all the way, which I love them and they've overachieved this year. I don't think they're going to go all the way. Do you? I mean, does anybody really believe the Steelers have the?
Yeah, they might make the playoffs.
They'll make the playoffs. They'll hands down make playoffs,
Yeah.
but it'll be like every other year, first round of playoffs.
Unless Russell Wilson does what he did the last game all through the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
But everybody's like, oh, he's consistent. There's glimpses of the old Russell Wilson. However, you go back the game prior,
And it was the Boswell show again.
yeah, it was dog shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not playing top tier teams.
Well,
Think about who they played. New York. The only team they played was really Washington.
they play the Ravens. in
Baltimore.
one.
But that was like field goal game.
It was a field goal game.
Yeah, but still, you beat the Ravens.
still, Ravens. I wouldn't put the Ravens up there.
And everybody said that they were the odds favorite this year. Who do you have? So let me ask you this: AFC. Who do you have winning the AFC?
I have Minnesota taking it all, and I'm gonna stick with Minnesota.
That's NFC.
I know.
Who do you have? Who do you have AFC winning?
AFC. I'm gonna go Washington.
They're NFC.
No shit.
They're
They're
NFC.
NFC.
Okay, fucking.
No shit.
I was thinking, I don't know football, but I'm like, whatever Dan says, I'm going to say. So, but I'm like, geez, I'm not even purpose. I don't follow NFL.
Oh, Kansas City.
Kansas City. Who do you
Kansas
got
City.
AFC?
Kansas City would probably be automatically.
You think so? Who do you got
But
AFC?
you know, I don't know, man. I mean,
Who
I
do
need
you
to get
got
more
AFC?
NFL. I don't know.
As Oliver trots over here. Who do you got AFC winning, Oliver?
Buffalo!
All right, I like that pick. I like that pick.
I like that.
I like that
You
pick.
know, I like that confidence in that
Yeah.
man.
I don't know. The NFL just seems fixed. Like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Kansas
man.
City, Kansas City. You know,
No, fix with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson was fixed.
well, that
Yeah,
was
that was
fixed.
good.
But I'm saying
you
Kansas
really
City. Anytime fucking Mahomes throws an interception, defensive pass interference
Yeah.
or fucking roughing the pass.
Listen, who beat the Kansas City this year?
Buffalo!
That's my boy. So the game we watched when Buffalo played, who they play? Who was it they played, Oliver, in the snow?
In the snow, they played against the 49ers.
49ers.
Josh Allen
Jesus
played.
Christ.
Josh
we
Allen.
need a goddamn 11-year-old to moderate
I'm
the
telling you,
podcast here.
this kid knows so much about sports.
We
It's
need him
scary.
like a microphone right now to chime in and say, Buffalo, you dummies.
Buffalo does, yeah. Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills played just an amazing game. No, it was the funnest game I've watched college football or pro football the last 25 years.
playing
Did you see the
Pretty
Buffalo fan throwing the snowball trying
Yeah.
to knock the field goal out?
So it was like watching the running backs run. It wasn't this snazzy running. Like they would run and they would stop and they would move another direction. It was like Tecmo Bowl because of the snow. But the best play was watching Josh. Josh Allen's a wizard. Josh Allen is probably, I would say right now, the greatest quarterback in the NFL. And I know that's a tough call. But when you throw a ball to your guy and you have the wherewithal to make eye contact with your receiver and run down and then receive the ball on a toss and score, there's a certain moxie that Josh Allen has. So, and I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Buffalo win it all. As far as the AFC goes.
I mean, they're overdue, just like Detroit.
They're overdue. Now, the other side of it, setting my Steelers aside, is hard to do when you love Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm pulling for Detroit.
They're looking good right now.
Dude,
They
they
are.
are killing it. Their
Yeah.
record's amazing right now.
They should have lost that game last night. They should have lost it because they lost focus. And instead, what Jared Goff did was nothing short of superhuman. I mean, he was every pass he threw. Did you watch it? It was like it would connect. It was just he was on the ball, and I think it would be so cool to see a Buffalo, Detroit, and a Super Bowl.
It's like a blue collar Super Bowl.
Fuck yeah, man! I'm telling you, if it's Buffalo and Detroit,
Oh, that'll be the most watched Super
we
Bowl
are
ever.
we are throwing a party. I may even buy a jersey. Jason Oliver comes over here's like, who you put? If it's a Buffalo, Detroit, who you pulling for, Oliver?
Yeah, we know.
All right. So I'll make this bet to you. If Buffalo wins it all, I'll buy you a Josh Allen jersey.
I mean, I already have two, but one of them we can't find, and the other one is oversized.
Okay, never mind then. Cancel that.
Get your mouth shut, kid.
One of these days you'll
get
love
nothing. You'll get nothing.
I mean, I already have. You don't have two. You have two.
Dude, that's
He
what.
bought me one, it was oversized, and he bought me another one, and then it got lost.
You got to grow into
Shit,
it.
I did.
Dude, we went down to the Ohio State game. I bought Luka jersey, $200.
Yeah, you're dumb,
Damn.
bro. You got to hit that Korean fucking wonton magic deal, bro. I don't know what
There's
you
some
did.
nice
dude.
websites out there, free shipping. You
I
got
didn't
over
say
10.
Tebow jersey.
Go away.
You get 10 jerseys,
Florida.
you get free shipping.
Where?
Some on online stuff.
They need to do that with whiskey. Buy 3 bottles of
Oh my
whiskey, free
God.
Get
shipping.
some Mama Son jerseys.
Mama Son jersey. Ain't nothing wrong, Mama Son.
We did that. My last
Dan knows Mama Son.
one of my units. We all went in, got different NFL jerseys.
Dan is Song Tong Sally champion.
No.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna touch on something real quick. This beautiful mane of hair is progressing nicely. We're at 1 month, boys. I'm not even touched. I'm not even bothered. I'm enjoying it.
Wait, you got to tell what you've never bought in your life.
I have never owned a comb in my life. Today, I went out and bought me a 2-pack of combs for $2.39. I didn't know how to use them.
Dude, you look like you shouldn't be fucking 50 yards from a fucking school with that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, white van in the
But
driveway.
I'm just saying.
You better out of zero.
I was trying to brush it back. We're far away from that. But listen, when this is long and flowing,
He's a quarter inch of hair short of owning a fucking trailer in a meth lab.
but we're going to go through this together because we are going to put you on the spot because on the last podcast, Gregory, you did say April. So April. After April, if I make it that far, what bottle are you buying me? CYPB.
I don't recall. Pull up the video.
Are you that dumb, dude? Literally,
there's
literally
you always
audio.
jump on his bandwagon. You will always jump on his bandwagon. You get down below his the table right now.
You had said that any other place on the podcast, it would have been fun.
We're going to goddamn war. No,
we're going to war. Oogie boogie.
Wait. What I still can't get over is our conversation upstairs. He pays $35 for that fucking haircut.
Yeah.
You could get a Flowbee at home and do it yourself. There's nothing to it.
what do you pay for yours?
It's no fade nothing.
40.
I can't believe you pay for yours.
You don't get a discount for the receding hairline?
Dude, it looks like Helen Keller cuts your hair. I mean, seriously.
Lala. We do not associate. We do not endorse that comment at all. That's all Gregory. He's a retard.
Oh, Gregory's going to catch a
Ooh,
beat
Lala's going to fuck you up. Listen,
she is doing the bourbon and boxing night too.
Who?
So Lala is going to be there for bourbon and boxing. Bullits and Bourbon is doing bourbon and boxing.
Right.
Essentially, now, I can't take part because I'm going to have dental surgery. So y'all are fucked.
Who's Lala?
You better at Southern
Tier.
Oh yeah, but I didn't understand the correlation between when I said Helen Keller.
That's the godmother of his haircuts.
Yeah, I've been only going to her for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Lala looks fucking amazing.
You're such a bitch, dude.
Like, hook me up.
Wait, can she box?
Oh yeah, she's been going to the gym for like 6 months now.
Okay, your shit's on point. Your shit's on point. Yeah. So
I mean, the hairline looks like it's been fucking calling a retreat.
So
but
there is talk of a future podcast with.
No! Don't change the subject. Don't try to cover up your shit. Your shit.
We're talking about no, but there is talk of a future podcast with what's your boys?
Barry. We just got to set the date. That's
Barry.
All we gotta do.
Barry. I guess from what I know, Barry threw out there. Why don't you come out here and box? We're like,
No. He said bourbon and boxing. I don't know if we're going to box or just go through one of his workouts.
Dude, it's not bourbon box, it's bourbon ass beating. It's like, why don't we get our ass beat? Come down there.
I don't really want to go through a training session.
We drink it and then box them?
I would rather just go down there and we put some gloves on. We fuck each other up for a good 15 seconds because we ain't going more in a minute. And then we can just get drunk and go to hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather be like we could go to the ground, not distract.
No, we're not going there. That's not boxing. That's grappling. There's
I said yes.
No,
I said full.
This is a boxing gym.
I know. I said I'm not all up. Oh, we're gonna do a stand.
I know you want to lay down and you want to have a man on top of you. This is not the gym you do this.
Hoping it's a Cuban.
He's like, oh, come to my guard.
What are you laughing at, Oliver?
Nothing but facts. Your airline retreats harder than the French in World War II.
Oh, damn. Yeah, you can't fight a 10-year-old yet.
No, I can't.
I mean, now he turns 11 on the 5th. You can fight him then.
What's PA law?
So yeah, we're looking forward to it. That's going to be fun. Some other things we got kind of coming up, which is going to be fun to do. Iron City Distilling next Friday.
Yep.
Right. Yep. That's going to be cool. We get to go down and hang out with Peter Katz and his amazing team and the cool stuff we're doing there. We're doing a podcast down there. That's going to be cool. What else? We got Bourbon, Knows Your Bourbon. We still got that coming in the future. That's gonna be cool. I'm super pumped about that.
What was that?
Super cool.
Yeah,
Super cool.
You ever watched Super like Nintendo Mario?
Nintendo. That's what I was doing.
Remember Fat Albert?
Yeah.
Oh, you know version of Fat Albert.
I forgot. I had so here's what we're gonna do. On the next episode, I want to talk about retro toys, not anal toys, Craig.
I mean, right around Christmas time, yeah.
Retro toys from when we were kids and young adults. Young adults because we're all over the age of
We're all over.
we're all over that age. But some of the cool toys that we remember wanting this time of year as being a boy. You remember that feeling when we were boys, when we were young, Oliver's age. You remember once when we were young?
That feeling of being.
I remember in school always having a book in front of my crotch. I remember that feeling very well.
I'll tell you what.
Younger than that.
I'll tell you what. I see some of those toys that we had as a kid now that are making it for sales, like
Oh, man,
the
I wish I
original.
kept my
The
stuff.
original.
No. We're not going to talk about them. That's the next episode.
Some of those toys.
But I want you, and you know, for those that listen, if you have those toys, post it up on this episode. But what your top 3 favorite memory of toys were from this era? Because
It was your like a 1992 blow up doll.
that's not funny. You got one of those? No, but I think it'll be fun. I got a funny little toy surprise that was given to me. That's what
Jenna
it is.
Jameson pocket pussy.
You have one of those too?
I don't think those were in the
He
Sears
had the Al
catalog.
Sharpton one.
You go through the Sears catalog and
I
look at
still hope one night, hopefully, we're still going to do the dad jokes one night.
Yeah.
though, too.
So when we do the dad jokes, this will be the one exception that we'll have Oliver join us for a minute
Yeah,
because
dude, they're bad. It's
because
hilarious.
Oliver literally has like 100 dad jokes and they're brutal and they're funny as shit. So
All my dad jokes got profanity.
yeah, so do Oliver's. I don't know. But I think it's something to look forward to. We got that coming up, and then around the corner, holidays. We're gonna kind of get mellow, get cool with it, and then kicking off the new year. We got some fun stuff ahead. It's barrel picks,
Yeah.
Louisville coming up, Bear Trail.
April, yeah.
Yeah.
Veteran.
Holy shit, you guys are talking 6 months in advance. Let's wrap this shit up.
Veterans Day,
Drink.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
we'll-
in any
we'll
event,
pick, yeah.
yeah. So listen, we are going to announce the winner of the
November.
Patreon drawing for November and the Instagram, Facebook here momentarily. So good luck to you both. We did not hit our paid Patreon membership requirement to give away the bottle of Elmer Tilly.
Dude, you can say this shit on the fucking
But
separate
I'm just
shit.
prefacing this. The next month for
Craig, give him shit.
Hold
This
on.
is your chance to give him
Hey,
shit,
hold
Craig.
on.
Here we go. We're going to take a whole entire year for you to get through
I'm going to
this. here.
slap. I'm going to slap.
Give us the
Jesus.
Cliff Notes.
Just like
Cliff Notes.
The Cliff Notes. Next month's bottle, I will say it on here.
Holy shit.
For
Christ.
for
Here we go.
Patreon will be a bottle of Stag Junior. I'm gonna leave it at that for paid Patreon. So I'm gonna drop it there, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Look forward to for the episodes to come. And as we always say, stay thirsty, my friends. Cheers.
Cheers.
Holy fuck, dude. You're getting more and more like Craig.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast of Bullits and Bourbon. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.